Hi, my name is Ryan Gottfredson, and I'm a leadership development professor and consultant. And across both of these spheres of my work, I have learned that one of the biggest issues facing organizational leaders today is complexity. They're facing increased competition, rapidly changing customer interests and needs, and shortened product life cycles, among a wide variety of factors, which we could include rising interest rates, layoffs going on, right? One of the biggest challenges is that organizational leaders have to deal with a lot. Well, one of the things that we need to understand is that our ability to navigate complexity effectively is contingent upon the complexity within ourselves. Now, if you take an executive team or a room full of leaders, one of the things that you're going to find is that across this room, some of these leaders are going to be more simple-minded and others are going to be more complex-minded. And by simple-minded, I don't mean that they're not intelligent or they don't have a lot of experience, but there's a difference between people who are more simple-minded and complex-minded. People who are more simple-minded, they tend to think that they've only have a certain set of skill sets that they can pull upon. And they always pull upon those same skill sets. It's almost like they are the hammer and everything else is a nail. But more complex leaders see themselves as really dynamic individuals. They've got a wide variety of skill sets and they can employ these different skill sets in different times to best meet the needs of that particular situation. Also, people who are more simple-minded are less connected to their own emotions as well as the emotions of others. Another way of saying they're less emotionally intelligent. More complex leaders are able to wade through the depth and complexity that is emotions, that they could simultaneously experience both negative emotions and positive emotions. So what we have found and what research has found is that the more complex a leader is in terms of their own mental complexity, the greater their ability to navigate the complexity in their world. Now, when leaders don't have the complexity needed for their environment, what ends up happening is they start to deal with mental health issues, which are on the rise. Organizational leaders deal with depression at a rate at or that exceeds that of the general population. Also, a really recent report that came out said that organizational leaders are 7 times more likely to admit self-harm now than during the pre-pandemic. That's going from a 1% rate to a 7% rate. So all of that is examples of leaders who are not operating with the requisite level of complexity to deal with their complex situation. So what do we do about this? How do we elevate our complexity? We've got to focus on our own vertical development. We've got to upgrade our own internal operating system. This involves a couple of things. We need to experience heat experiences, which disorient us in terms of our typical way of thinking and processing information. Now, that could be not very fun in the moment, but it can have some huge benefits, particularly when we engage in renewed sense making. And oftentimes that requires support. It requires a coach, a mentor, or somebody to help the leader. Now, one of the things that I do with my consulting practice is I help leaders elevate their complexity through vertical development. I create some heat experiences that allow for renewed sense making. And I serve as that coach to help people elevate themselves to rise above the complexity of their situation so that they can more effectively navigate it. So all of this is to say, and hopefully spur within you, the idea that if we want to navigate complexity more effectively, we have got to focus on improving our personal complexity. Would love to speak with you more about that. So if that's something you would like, reach out to me and we can go from there. Thank you so much.